Shelby Oaks is about a woman's desperate search for her long-lost sister, which falls into obsession upon realizing that the imaginary demon from their childhood may have been real. This film stars Sarah Dern, Camille Sullivan, Keith David, and is directed by Chris Stuckman, as this is his directorial debut. And this movie's budget is not that high, but watching it, it's really hard to tell. Seeing it in a theater probably helped, but they do a really good job of stretching out that budget, and they had some very good cinematography, lighting, and atmosphere in this film, particularly in scenes that involve a prison that take place in the middle of the story. And I think the standout performance is definitely Camille Sullivan, who plays the sister of the missing girl, Riley Brennan, and this is the first time I've seen her, but she does a great job and really delivers excellent emotions in her scenes and has great moments, intense scenes where she needs to look behind her and she's like turning around very, very slowly. And she builds really, really great suspense with just her emotions on her face. There's great still shots of focusing on windows until something creepy happens, and shots hold on things, and it's creepy. And scenes in the prison, which, if you followed the making of this movie, is the same prison used in the Shawshank Redemption, has a great shot of Camille's character looking down this hallway of rotting cells that fades into the fog, which reminded me a lot of the nun's first appearance in Conjuring 2, with that great hallway reveal of her, which is just so creepy. And the scenes in that prison are probably the best visuals present in the film. Now, Stuckman did say he was inspired by films like Lake Mungo, an Australian horror movie, and Noroi the Curse, which is a Japanese horror movie, which I haven't seen. But after seeing this movie, I can definitely see where that inspiration comes from, especially earlier. There's a slow zoom in on a corner of a piece of found footage, which felt so much like Lake Mungo. And a lot of that first portion of that movie, that first 20 minutes or so, does feel a lot like Lake Mungo, with the mockumentary feel and usage of found footage, until a very shocking thing happens that propels the plot forward, and it moves a lot more like Empty Man, which came out in 2020, which had a lot of detective work into strange, obscure, horrific things, going from location to location, finding clues, and then occasionally watching found footage to search for even more clues. And without getting into spoilers, the story starts peeling back the layers of what's really going on and what is controlling things, and unexplainable things start to appear. And I didn't think that was really effective, save for one cool shot where we see the same shot from earlier in the movie, but now we see something visible that was not there before, and it looks really creepy there. But the reveal of what might be running things and what may have happened, I don't think really worked well. One thing I think was really, really well done was the practical effects and makeup. And at one point during some of the found footage, I was taking a sip of my drink and I had gotten a little bit scared from something I saw, and I ended up hitting myself with a cup, and I felt a lot like Kevin Hart getting hit in the face with a chicken wing that was thrown at him. There's some great dialogue in the film generally. Things sometimes aren't said outright and rather shown in clever shots, like some shots involving the lead character's husband, who is such a moron, such a buffoon. But the character's actions generally make sense, and the lead is pretty smart. One thing that felt rewarding to me as a longtime viewer of Stuckman's channel is seeing some of the Easter eggs he has in the movie. Some of the people that he interviews or has footage of expressing their opinions on things that happen in the movie are family and friends of the directors. There's one guy who was in one of his short films he did some time ago, and it was cool to be like, I understood that reference. The movie in feel feels a lot like Lake Mungo for the first 20 or so minutes, and then it transitions into a more empty man sort of feel. I think it begins to lose some of its kind of luster towards the end with some of the reveals that happen, and I think the mystery, I think, builds to something that was probably better than it turned out to be. I think, in short, the movie establishes a good mysterious premise and a good start, a decent middle, and a sort of odd ending. But for this movie's grade, I would give it a B plus. I think they did a really good job, especially as a first time film. I think this is a very solid movie with a lot of great atmosphere and mystery, and there's great technical work behind the camera. And I'm definitely excited to see what Stuckman does next. If you've seen Shelby Oaks, do let me know what you thought of the movie. And if you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe.